Okay, with what we've done so far, we've obviously managed to get some information from the user, and we have also used variables. However, the program always takes the same route. There's no decisions being made depending on what the person types in. So to do that, you need to use an if statement, which is what we're going to have a look at in this video. So if we start off by creating a variable, again called age, and we'll start off by saying that it's going to be an integer, because we know that their age is going to be a number, and we want it to be an input, and we want to say, what is your age? So what that's doing is it's going to ask the person, if I press run and then run, what is your age? 23, and obviously that's the end of the program, but it's storing that number that we've typed in as an integer in the variable age. So then what we can do is we can start using an if, and we can say if age is less than 17, then, which is a colon, we want something to happen. Now when I press enter, you'll notice that the cursor automatically starts a little bit into the page, which is one tab in. Now the tab key is the key that is above the caps lock. If I press it again, it will jump another tab across. Okay, so it's roughly about 4 or 5 spaces. So what we're going to say is if age is less than 17, then we want to print some text, and we want it to say you are not old enough to drive. Okay, I'm going to press backspace now so that I go back across to this side. If they're not under 17, then obviously they must be 17 or older, so therefore we're going to say else. I'm going to press tab so it types it in for me, and again when I press enter it will automatically tab across. If not, then we want it to print the text you are old enough to drive. If I now press shift and F10 to run that, so what is your age? We'll say that we're 15, you are not old enough to drive. If I run it again, what is your age? 23, you are old enough to drive. Okay, so we've got different symbols that we can use. This one is less than. You can also do greater than, which is the arrow pointing the other way. You could have greater than or equals to 17, so it would include 17 in that. And obviously you can have less than or equal to 17. You can have equals, which is a double equals, and you can also have not equals to, which is exclamation mark and then an equals. So that is a simple if statement. You're going to be using it to put together a text-based game, which I will discuss with you now. Okay, so the code for the game looks like this. We're starting off creating a variable called answer, and we don't need to convert it to a number this time because we're dealing with text, but we're going to say that whatever they type in after they're presented with the question, which enters the room, do you use the sword or the club, it will store their answer to that in the variable called answer. And then what we're saying is, if their answer equals club, which is what we're going to say is the correct answer, then we want to say something like you win the fight but an insane monkey runs at you. If not, you don't know how to use a sword, so it's game over, and then we put this line of code in which will quit the code and it won't run any further. So assuming that they get this correct, they will never see this bit of code, this won't run, so the game won't quit, so it'll go back down here. And we're now going to replace what's in our variable, so if we think of it as a box, we're taking out the previous answer and we're putting in a new answer that says do you run or fight. So if they say run, if answer equals run, then we'll say that they've won that level if you like, so the monkey turns out to be very unfit and tires easily, and the game would continue if I'd have written any more. If not, the monkey is very mean and bites you, you lose, and the game quits again. So if we run that, if I start off, so I ran the wrong one, if I go to run and click on run, and we will choose the text-based game. So which enters the room do you use? So if we say sword, which we know is the wrong answer, you don't know how to use a sword, game over. If we run it again, and we type in club, then you move on to the next part of the game. So you win the fight, do you run or fight? If we say run, the monkey turns out to be unfit and the game would continue. And you can obviously decide your story or how you're going to use this.